Hey, good morning, guys. What's happening? Hey, good morning, guys. What's happening? Is everybody ready for this hump day? All right, let's take a look at what we got. See, TIF is up first. That's on earnings. We had that huge sell-off here. Nice bounce, but you could see. I need to clean this. This isn't going to work. That's just way too much. No, those are levels from years past. This should be at 90.55. Guessing we're starting this mess again with Thinkorswim. Okay, 90.55 right here is a 52-week low. We didn't breach it on this move down, but we came close. Man, I swear. This thing is giving me fits. Let me blow this up so I could see better. There's a lot of garbage in here. Yeah. So this looks good if we can get it short. And going long, it's got a lot of crap. A lot of resistance on top of it. So if we can get this going short, get into 52-week low. And I think we may have something here today. So we'll definitely keep this one on watch. TIF. Alright, so CHS on this one is not in my wheelhouse. It's got a good float. So you guys that like lower price stocks, this one is not bad. We're on a 52-week low. This thing's selling off hard. It's probably going to be on SSR when the market opens. But this was This was a good hit right around 8 o'clock. But this one could be interesting if you like lower price stocks. No, that's not my wheelhouse, so won't be messing with it. Okay, GNL. This is a secondary offering, and I don't typically trade these. You know, yesterday GOOS had a nice pattern, and it actually set up for a good trade, opening range trade. But here, this is kind of what I expect out of these, to kind of come down and then just trade in the channel. The ones that, you know, once they hit the offering price, they just kind of hang around that. But GOL was just a surprise. Okay, DKS is on earnings. This is typically what we've been seeing out of retail. When it announces, it tanks, and eventually it, you know, goes green. It's what we've been seeing over and over and over again. So let's see. And we've got some so 39.75 is a 52-week high. We're gapping over the 20 EMA, which is at 36.62. So this would be a pretty good trade. Good setup on the daily chart. Will be a good setup intraday. And that one I would be looking long on initially. Obviously, it's short. You see everything that it would have to get through in order to go short. But I like this to the long side. Let me see, what time does the conference call hit? DKS. Conference call 10 o'clock. So about 30 minutes after the open. Should give us a good chance to catch an opening trade. But then after that, you'd have to kind of chill out and wait for the conference call. But that one looks good. So we can add that to our watch. There's our old buddy SQ that just moves no matter what. Let me see if there happens to be any news on it. This one moves without a catalyst. It doesn't matter. It just moves sometimes. Yeah, nothing of substance. Nothing of substance. Always good to keep on watch because you could catch a secondary move off of it. You know, it may be too volatile at the open, but once it settles, it's always a possibility to get a secondary move. Okay, ACAD. See, public offering, which is why this is tanking. I mean, did it tank yesterday? Let me see. Oh, it depends on where the offering is, where it priced it. Okay, yeah, announced it yesterday. Now look at the freaking run up it did. So it sold off yesterday. Then all of a sudden this morning it just squeezes up. Is it squeezing shorts, or is there some news that I don't see? Because the offering price is $17 a share. And this is odd. It's typical biotech stuff. This is really odd. Let me see. It's not on margin restriction at Sure Trader, so that's that's odd. Well, maybe worth a watch here. Let's see. This is at 1908 now, so I can change it. This is the 200, the daily 200 right here. That's what it's running into. So we've got the daily 200, 1946. Okay, so this is 1946. This is the 20. It's got a ton of daily support. I need to edit that. And the 50s at 2024. Well, that's close enough. So we've got a ton of daily support above this. Which is concerning at this point. I mean, resistance, I'm sorry. A ton of daily resistance on this. So the jury's going to be out on that until I can figure out what's going on. I'll take a look at that after 9 o'clock. All right. So WB, see where we are on this 60. So we've gapped up a little bit. So we can find some pivots here. And 53.11 is 52-week low. All right. So we've got some nice windows in here on WB. Good thing is it's already had its conference call, so we should be able to trade this, clean at the open. So that would be good if we can get that one to set up. But yesterday was a tough day for me. Just tried. I was pretty skeptical about the market to start with. Then it kind of baited me in and didn't do very well. But today looks a little bit better. I still don't see the volume that I want to see. Let's go back to, let's look at the SPY here. And just take a look at the volume the last couple of days. Okay, this is understandable. This is Friday. This was a half a day. This was Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. But here we just don't have the volume. Here Monday we traded just under 80 million shares. Yesterday just around 75 million. And I would think we'd be up here around the 125 million share range traded. So what I'm trying to figure out is how we got back. How we went back. You can see all through here when we didn't really have a whole lot of volatility, this thing was just kind of inching up. It just wasn't a whole lot of movement, intraday. And you could see it just had low volume then. But here we do have a little bit more volume than we did back then, but not much. So it's kind of falling back into this this pattern. I don't want it to do that. We need the volume to drive this market, to drive the volatility. That's what's going to give us a chance to make a lot of money going into Christmas. Now my son wants the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. So, nah, honestly, our kids are looking for more elaborate gifts now. So, gone are the days where we could go shopping and spend like $200 and our kids will have a great Christmas. Now my kids are older, they're into the electronics and the technology. So now you gotta have like a $2,500 budget per kid. So it is a bit much. Well, actually, he's made. I think he's probably made over $2,500 trading, so he might be in good shape. He might be in pretty good shape. He's 15. He'll be 16 in December. Nah, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to whenever he's responsible enough to learn how to drive, then we'll get him a car. But he's got to go through the same route my daughter did. I think, when was it? Not last week, week before last, on the video I did on Sunday. I showed you the car that we're working on. That's like the car that the family learned to drive on. But my daughter did the most damage to it. You know what? If I went and asked my parents for that now, they would do the same thing. They'd probably laugh at me. And think it was funny. NTNX. This one had earnings after the market yesterday. I was looking at this one, but I was looking short, but I knew I wasn't going to have an opportunity. But my thought was, my plan would have been to get short in here and put a bid down here to cover. Right at this 36.69 level. It probably wouldn't have come down. It dropped to this level, but then it ran right up. And this is what we're seeing a lot of these stocks do. They report earnings and they tank. You can catch that tank move and then turn around and get long. You can really make money off of these things. My problem is, I've got to leave at, almost 3 o'clock every day. Have to go pick my son up. And sometimes I don't get back in time to manage these things. So, I just have to miss out. But during the summer, we can kill these. We were killing them when I had the opportunity. But, it's just a matter of sitting back, observing, how these stocks move. And just reading between the lines. All of the stuff dealing with earnings. Look at what the other sectors are doing. I mean, not other sectors, other stocks in that same sector. Just like we're looking at retail. This is what retail does. It starts to sell off and then wham. We're back. So we'll see what we got coming into the day. We got a decent watch list here. NTNX has kind of fallen into no man's land right now. We're in between moving averages. So let's see if we can get all of the pivots that are likely to, no, it's the wrong one. Dadgummit, man. There we go. It was not hitting the right candle. Yeah, so we got some windows here. Windows of opportunity. On NTNX as well. So I think we've got a pretty healthy watch list here. It just depends on your strategy. If marking a weekly works for you, then you do that. You have to do what really works for you. That's the beautiful thing about trading. It's it looks different for everybody. There's no one right way to do it. And how we come to make money, the only thing that matters is that we're consistent and that we make money. Now, if you have a strategy and you're not making money, then you probably need to change that strategy. So, that's where we that's how you have to determine whether what you do works. If I have something I was doing and I wasn't doing very well with it, then I have to look at what I'm doing and have to figure out where the disconnect is. All right, so let's go through. So I know we got TIF. We got DKS, we got SQ, we put WB on there, and then NT index. Alright, so I guess we'll finalize our list here. I don't think there's anything else I want to add to it. Box I'll be looking at after the close. This is the one, I think this is the only one that I identified that might give an opportunity, but it depends on how much volume it's going to have going into today. Russell is automatic. You don't have to do anything. It just automatically comes up on Thinkorswim. CRM is not on my scan. So I didn't, and I kind of got filled up with stocks that actually hit my scan. It says CRM, we can take a look at it. It'd probably be good. The only reason CRM didn't really hit my scan is because of the float. It's over 500 million shares. But CRM, let's see. Yeah, that's a solid pivot in through there. There's a little, yeah, there's some room for CRM. Yeah, definitely has some room to move. So you guys, just like CHS was kind of, the price is out of my range, but it's a good look. Looks like it's having trouble at 5. You know, if it's not letting it get too much below 5. But that's one, and you know, CRM, that's another one. It just has a little bit higher float, but it does have good possibility. Yeah, that's crazy. That is a big difference. Yeah, most of the time they're pretty close, but in this case, that's a pretty big difference. I just go by trade ideas. But you look at WB's daily chart, it doesn't look all that great. You know, it does have a history of making a huge move up. So, you know, with this gap up, we're sitting on some descending, which was resistance. If we can establish above that, you know, WB may be a good trade. All right, so we're gonna have that. Let me show you before we get going here. Let me show you what happened with Apple this morning. I should have done, you know, I had to, in my mind, I was like, I should take it off last night. You know, when I was doing the video, I had it in mind I needed to take it off because we were probably going to pop today, but I left it on and, you know, end up getting out here at, you know, just before 7 o'clock at 176.03. Let's see. Yeah, 176.03. That's when I got out. So now, the only thing I got on is this GME. You can see early this morning it put in two. It's not on here right now, but there was a 1,500 share order around 14:45, and then probably about 500 shares at 14:30. But then that was it. It didn't do anything for a while. So, you know, I wasn't going to get spooked out on that. You know, with the market being strong, everything looks good. I'm still going to look for that 15. You know, see if we can get 300 shares off at that 15 and keep this trade alive. But Apple did okay. We did make a couple dollars on it. Nothing like what I had anticipated or what I was looking for, you know, from last Tuesday. You're talking about over a week and not even getting $1,000, I don't believe. So, you know, that's not a good return for something that you hold over a week. I mean, it's better than being red, but it's not really what I'm looking for. All right, so that's it. that's where we're at in my swing account. Looking for this to just mature today. Or maybe if we can keep climbing. The problem with this is the daily chart. Let me show you what I mean. We got to get through this on the daily chart. See, here is the 100-day is right here at 1503. That's why I've got my bid at 15 to take some off. But then we've got to, continue to move up. We've got around 1550, we've got some resistance. 1575 at the $0.25 mark. Then 16. And so it's going to be a struggle getting through that. But we just set it. And, like we do swings, you got to set it and forget it. I'll check it at lunch. I don't watch this throughout the day. So if people post updates on it, I'm going to ignore it because I'm not watching it. The worst thing you can do is watch swing trades throughout the day. You check it in the morning, set your target, and you come back at lunch and check it. And you check it at the end of the day. And plus, if it gets below, I do have alerts set. You can set alerts on the Thinkorswim mobile app. So I will set alerts for, specific price targets. So if we're getting close to a target, I can actually look at it then. But other than that, I'm not worried about it. All right, so that's that. So let's get logged in to get ready for the open here. Switch accounts. All right, minimize. All right, so we get ready for the day. Yeah, you're right. Market could move on Powell's speech at noon. So we just have to, we got to watch the market, watch what it's doing. Like yesterday, remember the price action yesterday, the price action Monday, it just wasn't conducive past the first 30 minutes. So that's kind of what we'll be looking at this morning. No, I don't look at relative volume. All I care about is the volume that it has right now. The actual volume. The shares being traded. That's all that I care about. Man. All right, let's see. WB. Oh, y'all must not know how cold it is outside. No, I'm not letting you out right now. It's still freezing. It's still below freezing. It's too cold for y'all. So chill out. Hold on a second. I might have messed up something. Let's see. WB. And remember, SQ would be something I would watch for a more likely a secondary move. It wouldn't be I forgot what I was talking about. God dog. It's bad when you get old. It's bad when you get old and you can't remember what you were just talking about. Oh gosh, that's terrible. Just gonna wait and watch what it does. Can't really tell until the open. Shoot. So we're in a pretty nice window here on WB to the upside if it decides to go up. Let's see, the next one we'll look at is DKS. ACAD is a secondary offering, so not gonna make the cut. It doesn't look as good as GOOS did yesterday. $36.50. Got a level there. 36.29. That's really close. It's just under the 200 here. And 35.70. Yep. And see DKS. So we got that one and NTNX. 45.30. Alright, so NTNX is great. Perfect. Where's the other one? 47.57. We don't have that up there. Don't have enough room for it right now. 42.55. All right. Yeah. I didn't put CRM on watch because of the float, but it could, it could still be a good watch. So what I'm going to do is sit back and wait and watch the first 5 minutes kind of settle. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so let's see what the almost game time here. See what the market has in store for us today. What are you talking about? Man, DKS is tanking. Jeez. It's not waiting for us. Here was my first target on this. $34.55. Look at where it's at now. It just lost everything. It stinks. In Can I fucking believe this? Oh my God. Everything freaking taking off in that first. Got to be kidding me. What are you doing? Alright, so DKS, I'm not too thrilled about the volume on this thing. That's what's got me paused on DKS. TIF took up my whole trading range. Not seeing anything really good right now. NTNX. Alright, we're going to grab some NTNX here. Looking for it to get down to the 200 here. If we close, you know, here's the 5-minute opening range low. If we close below this, close back above this, then the trade is dead. But everything's a little choppy today. Look at how choppy this is. Jeez. And this isn't even on SSR. No, typically you're going to jump in as soon as it breaks the low. More conservatively, yeah, you can wait for the next 5-minute candle. So that's the target I want. And the spread on this thing is a little bit wicked, but see if we can make that quick move down. Pick up some. If we can get that quick move down, 42.50, I can breathe a little bit better. Come on and hit me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. I got hit. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Put my stop back at break even. Hopefully before it pops back and stops me out. Probably should have taken it all off down there. With the way this was trading, I probably should have changed my strategy and just taken it all off. But, you know, if it gets stopped out at break even, so be it. It is what it is. I was looking for a really solid wash on this, but it just didn't happen. This is why we take profit where we do. Because if we don't, you know, we could have been ate up. So I'm okay with that. The price action just wasn't there for us. Price action just wasn't there for us. Damn, I got some slippage too. 9 cents. Thank you, Sure Trader. I really appreciate that. I hope you know you're streaming live, so every time you screw me, everybody sees it. Yeah, I guess they got to get a couple of cents. Especially, they can't get fees out of me because I know how to play their game. So they're going to catch me on some slippage here and there. But usually the slippage comes when the volume is light. And this is really light volume for opening. So when the volume is light, there's a lot more spread. The spread is wider. I don't see anything else that yeah, should have broke with tradition and ran with CRM. That one was nice. It had a little bit bigger float, but it was, like we said, it was a nice setup. Probably should have paid more attention to it. Mm-mm. Ah.
WV.
look at this. I don't want to mess with should have trusted WB. That looks like the one that really took off. Should have trusted it. We had it on our watch list, but hey. Man. Whoever took this, you know, if you guys took this one, you know, good job on jumping on it. And if you got CRM, you know, I know I didn't put it on my watch list, but that would have been really nice. Man, and all I got was a bunt on NTNX. That was a bunt. Nothing but a bunt. So TIF is just caught in too much traffic. So that one is just off the table. DKS just didn't get the volume. Just did not get the volume. Yeah, WB did have some volatility. So yeah, if you weren't in with a smaller size, that it would have kind of messed you up. Yeah, definitely. But this is, you know, like I said earlier, this is typical of the way the market trades when the volume is low. When the volume is low in the overall market, you get good moves the first 30 minutes. Sometimes they only last 15 to 20 minutes. And then after that, it's just flat. And unless you get like breaking news like we got yesterday with PZZA, you just aren't going to find any strong moves after 10:30. That's just pretty much what it boils down to. Yeah, the deviation bands from the VWAP, I love them. I really, really love them.
WB.
I didn't take the WB 5-minute ORB because of the volatility. It was chopping around a little bit too much. That first candle was too big. See, whenever we have a huge candle like this and it takes up a lot of that range, I don't like trading it. Just like yesterday on what was that stock? I can't remember the ticker yesterday, but typically I don't like it. In this case, it worked. But you see how, volatility could have chopped you out. If you didn't go in with the right size and give it enough room. That's why a lot of times you have to go in with smaller size so that you have enough room to allow the trade to work. And typically that's with WB, probably with the range, probably 100 shares. It's not extended. I'm just looking at it compared to the previous candles. I'm looking at it compared to all of these candles here. Then we have this huge candle. Relative to the previous ones. And so that, to me, that just, gives me a pause. So I think DKS, the conference call is getting ready to start here. But guys, right now, there's very little volume in the market. So you really, really have to be careful here. Yeah, that range is why I would have only gone in with 100 shares. That way I could have given it, if I have $150 max loss per trade, I could give it 1.5 points. But say if I went in with 200 shares, then that wouldn't have been smart because I wouldn't have been able to give it enough range for it to work. So, you just I have to look at all of that when I'm determining my position size. You know, how much room do I need to give this trade to work? Where's my first profit potential level? And got to make sure it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I can't take the trade. But if it makes sense, then I'm all over it. Yeah, typically if I have to give a stock $1, I'm gonna trade 100 shares. That's the smart thing to do. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about this volume here. There's lack of volume in the market. Yeah, see, and that's why it's really important that you take your time and be patient in these market conditions. TIFF I don't really like because of all of the traffic that's around it. The conference call is starting on DKS, so we can wait and see if we get some volume come in relation to the conference call and it starts to pick a direction, we may have a trade there. But we got to be patient. You're exactly right, Eric. That's what makes it so dangerous trading in low volume markets. It can be trending. It's like you can get 4 or 5 candles slowly going your way and you start to feel pretty good about it, and then all of a sudden one candle in a matter of a minute erases all of that work over the last 20-30 minutes. It's really frustrating trading in these conditions. So you got to take advantage of the opening volatility and then sit back and wait and see if anything pops off. You get breaking news if something happens that moves the market. All of this stuff we've got to sit back and watch and wait. It's a matter of being patient and picking your spots. I don't like TIFF. I don't like TIF. Now I'll show you on the Thinkorswim chart because that's what it's gonna take. Is this the 5-minute chart or the daily chart? Yeah. It's just gonna be a little slow getting up here. You see all of this garbage? All of this resistance here? You kind of caught in no man's land. Here's the upper deviation band here. It's coming in. It's closing in, which means the volatility is going out of this stock. So there's nothing I like about it. To me, it's not a good risk having to trade through all of that. Hold on. This may give you a better picture. Yeah, it's just, too much. Yes, there's no room for it to move. It just looks like it's closed. The volatility is gone. Everything, the walls are closing in on it, which means it doesn't have any place to go. Yeah. And that's what's concerning about the market. This is why you guys, when the market is not here, it's very weak in terms of volume. You've got to be real careful about this because things can swing very quickly one way or the other. So the market is pretty weak. Look at that price action at the open. This was very ugly. This is the sign. This is signs of a weak market. So TVIF may be a good trade if we, really start selling off here. If this market starts to tank. like the last 2 weeks prior, the market prior to Thanksgiving holidays was good. We could trade up to 11 o'clock through the lunch hour. Sometimes we'd have volatility coming out of lunch. We had players. Right now we just don't have players. And people could be sitting idle until after this G20 summit this weekend. They're just waiting to see what comes out of this before they start making any major decisions in their portfolio. So
W.
So we'll see. We'll see if now to get in TVIX, I would need a bounce back up to moving averages, kind of to reject, and I could get in TVIX. But I'm not gonna chase it. I always found it bad to chase. I always want to wait for it to bounce and retest a level of resistance. And I could get in based off that resistance. Like right now, I could get in, but this thing may bounce. I can get long TVIX, but once this bounces, TVIX is going to go back the other way. So I always want to wait for a bounce to get in on this.
W. DVN.
All right, dogs. Yeah, Dan. Whoever caught CRM this morning was really nice. Wish I hadn't had so much junk on my watch list. Could have made room for it. Could have made some room for that thing. All right, now TIF. Like I said, long was not the move. But it does give a short opportunity here. Did not want it long at all. So we've got, a nice window from here down to 92.70. I know the deviation band is kind of in there, but once this thing gets going down, once this thing gets headed south, we'll be in good shape. It's on SSR, so it's going to be difficult to get in this thing. So I'm waiting on the market bounce and a rejection. Yeah, there's DKS. Finally woke up. Damn if I didn't miss that. And I could not get in. Can't get in TIF. Oh man. I can't get in TIF. Damn it. I missed both of these. SOBs. I have no way of hedging my risk here. I can't. I don't want to risk against this level. It says no way. I could have risked against the 200 up here. But that's way too far away right now. I can't get in on that. All right, for TIF, this is the window that I want to trade in right here. That's a really nice window. No. Don't trade off of those. All right, here comes the bounce in the market that we're looking for, or attempted bounce. So we'll try to, if we get that bounce and a rejection, we get that bounce up here in a rejection, we'll be looking to grab some TVIX. See, TIF is still stuck. It's not getting into the gap to where I can make money. So I can't touch it. It's all about making sure you have profit potential. You know, getting in a trade and it doesn't have profit potential, you're gonna keep losing your money. So it's got to get under. For me, it's got to get under. We got to crack this. As long as it holds this level, I can't take it. It's in no man's land. Shoot. That's what happens when you're looking at two different things. It's still selling off. Man. See, that's the opening range low it put in. If we were going to take an opening range breakdown, I would have traded off of that level. But this is the true low of the first 5 minutes. But I can't do anything with it. So right now, it's just a matter of, and this is kind of the process you have to go through. You know, you have to analyze everything. You can't, I could look at this chart and say, man, this looks really good. But if it can't, you know, crack this daily level here, I got no trade. You know, we've got tremendous pressure pushing down on it with the 20, the 9. So if it blows through this pressure, then I know you got some major player that does not want this thing to tank. But somebody is here holding this thing on this level. We don't know how big he is. We don't know what his deal is, whether he's just getting out of his position, whether they're buying the cover right now and then this thing's gonna tank. You know, we don't know that yet. But now we're coming back. You know, if we make a lower low on the 2 minute, that's a good sign that we're coming in. that we may be coming in, but it's got to make, it's not making the lower low in the 2 minutes. So not happening.
X.
All right, now we're starting to show see if we could get in here. So 93.99. I don't know if we're going to be able to tick up. It is a 10-cent spread on this. All right, there we go. We did tick up and got hit.
WDC.
So 94.50 would be my stop on this.
X.
All right, so we got to chew through this. It was showing tremendous weakness. So, but we got to get through that daily level. If we can't get through it, this trade is dead. And obviously my target's going to be, you know, this level here. So I may take half off in between. You know, if we can get to, you know, 93.25-ish or something like that, that would be good. So we'll see if we can get a nice wash down here. See if we can get it through 50. If it gets stuck here, I may take some. But I want to see a nice clean move down. No, oh shit. Why? My final target, you know, really, depending on how it looks, if it gets here, that's going to determine, you know, what I do. Whether I take everything off here at 72, this is the target. This is what I'm looking for. A move at least to this daily level here. Oh, damn, man. I'm going to I don't know if I need to kill this whole trade right now. This thing's having issues. Damn it. Why? Damn. Are you kidding me?
DBN.
Are you flipping kidding me?
NFX.
This the now the first stock wasn't on SSR. It wasn't. So that one really shouldn't have bounced the way it did. This is on SSR. So I can understand it, you know, putting in a bounce like this. I can kind of understand this, but and it did get to 50. I just didn't take it. I should have taken half of it off there. If it gets back there again and it gives me an opportunity, I will take it. I will take half off there. But this is stuff, I mean, you can expect these moves with stocks on SSR. This is what happens. Which is why we really have to make sure we take profit at key levels. A $50 mark is a key level because it's a key psychological level, and obviously that's exactly where this thing reacted. Even though it showed no signs of reacting earlier in the day, this is a key level. So it did show signs of, you know, being reacting there.
DBN.
All right, so we get through 50 this time. I'm definitely gonna. I'm waiting for 50. We had a flash at 46. There we go. I took half off there. I wasn't going to let it bounce on me again. I'm sorry. Wasn't going to let it bounce on me again. put my stop back at break even. I'm gonna leave 4 cents for slippage this time. I'm not going for that. And my target is gonna be 92.75. So let's see what it does. Let's see. Yeah, that was kind of that stop was a little bit too tight for the volatility on WB. But we, and I dealt with that for a long time before I realized and figured out, how I had to do this. Because it's like we want to take, the more size we take, the more money we make. But when we're trading in a small account, we have to take into consideration we don't have the account size to give that much room. If we're trading in a $1,500 account and we give a stock $300, $300 worth of room, that doesn't make sense. Because that's 20% of your account. If you do that 5 times, if you have 5 losers in a row, you're wiped out. So, that's what makes trading in a small account really, really, really tough. Is you have to trade smaller size, which you don't want to do because you want to make more money. And it's hard for us to see as humans. It's just human nature. It's hard for us to see the accumulation effect. That, hey, you know what? If I make $150 a day on average, and I trade $200 days that year, 30 grand, dude. This is how you got to look at trading a small account. That's the mentality you got to have while you're growing. Screw these people saying they're making $1,000, $5,000, $8,000 a day. I mean, you could get there one day, but you're not going to do that with a $1,500 or $2,500 account. You're not going to do that. A modest average growing your account over the course of a year, you would want to average about $150 a day. And that's counting, that's not saying you're going to make that every day. Some days you may make $300 to $500, and some days you may lose $200. So it's just a matter of, how this thing averages out. This is why I really don't like trading this market. When you don't have the volatility or the volume in the market, the players, it's very difficult to get complete moves. Then you get stocks like WB that out of nowhere, just gives you these huge, huge moves. And it's like, Well, for me, a small account is anything less than the PDT minimum. And, your risk is going to be relative to your account size. Like when I started with $1,000, I can only risk $50 per trade. That's it. And that was really, really, really tough. I mean, it almost broke me. To be honest with you, it almost broke me.
FOSL.
And then, you know, when we got to around $2,000, then I was able to bump my risk up to $100 a trade. You know, now I'm over $5,000, but my risk is only $150 a trade. I'm only going to risk $150 per trade. That's it. And $300 a day. Once I hit that $300 a day loss, which is 2 trades, if I hit my max stop loss, then I'm done. We come back tomorrow. And that's where discipline comes in. Because you're sitting there worrying about, well, what if I miss that big trade? You know, what if I am out? You know, PZZA was a really nice trade yesterday after the news broke. I couldn't trade it. You know, so you got to be disciplined and stay out. When you hit that max loss, you're done.
FOSL.
Yeah, TVIX is doing okay. The market just hasn't made the moves I want to see for me to trade it. But it is doing pretty decent. The market didn't make the bounce I wanted to see. But that's not to say, now you know a lot of my big TVIX trades have come after lunch. You know, once the market puts in the backside of that move, that's when most of my big TVIX trades, you know, hit. All right, so in managing these trades, you know, once I take profit, I'm going to take, you guys saw what was going on at 50. You know, if you were watching the price action, you were watching the candlestick, you were watching level 2 and time and sales, you saw the fight at 93.50 that we were talking about. You know, you could see what was happening. Whenever that happens, I'm going to take profit there. Okay, wherever I see a fight, you know, between good and evil, between buyers and sellers, that's where the profit's going to get taken. And see, and we're still in a fight. We're still having buyers and sellers pop in here. You know, we got down to 93.30 and you saw some people taking profit. And it spiked, you know, bounced us. So you're going to have people taking profit. And then you're going to have these guys thinking, oh, shoot, this is the bottom. Yep, there it goes. Just that quick. You have got to be shitting me. Excuse my language. But this, I mean, this is a risk you take trading these darn stocks on SSR. What? Oh my God, that was some bad. That was just bad. That was bad.
WV.
Yeah, I still got an open order, but I doubt if it's gonna get down there. Yeah, but this damn slippage about ate that first profit target up. But this is, I mean, this is it's what you got to deal with. If you're going to trade this market, this is why I just like to sit back and not do anything and just chill. Because if you're going to trade this garbage market, it's going to burn you. It's going to be real difficult to make money here. But I hope you guys are learning these lessons. That's the whole point of this. Is so you can see exactly what can happen and how you got to deal with it. Because you guys, when you start trading and you start trading full time, this is what you're going to be dealing with. Not all the glamour and lights and, you know, glamour and glitz of trading. You're going to be dealing with these issues. If you don't know how to deal with them and you're not able to deal with them, then it'll be to your detriment. Oh boy, that was crazy. That was crazy. Dude, that was, when we say no Vaseline, that's what that was. That was no Vaseline. So yeah, good thing we took profit on it at that resistance level. I mean that support level. Yeah, NTNX looks like it wants to give up something. Gotta be careful though, because this one isn't on short sale restriction, but this is what we've been waiting for. This is the move we've been waiting for on this. Yeah, once the Fed chair talks, we may get a little something. But I'm not jumping in right now. You know, this candle's gonna have to close. All right, so let's see what we're gonna get here. So we're gonna get a bounce and a test of this. Whew, not gonna mess with TIF anymore. That lady is wicked. She don't like to be shorted at all. That lady's wicked. You know what they say about a woman scorned? All right, this spread on this is still a little bit more than I like. So only going to take 200 shares on it this time. See, 42.12 is the low. All right, thanks. I'm glad you like the videos. They're going to get better. With the virtual classroom, I think that's going to add a whole new element to the classes. You should feel more like you are actually in a classroom versus just sitting there watching a screen. It should add a whole new dimension to what we do. Should be in January. That's my target date. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Still watching the market, still watching TVIX. You see, this hasn't this hasn't triggered. This has not triggered an entry yet. Of course, Eric. I guarantee you they'll claim that they were the first ones to do it. I guarantee. Look at the window. $40.97 is the next level here, which is right below Yeah, right here. See where all the support was pre-market? So, you know, if we get into it, if it gets below here, we got a nice window to work. No, the thing is, the volume needs to stay up. You know, there's no trigger. If we can't make a lower low relative to this candle, there's just no trigger. So if this just grinds up and rejects here, then I'll jump on the rejection. So we'll see. Oh, my phone is starting to go off. I don't know why. Right now FOSL is oversold. Maybe looking for a bounce. The next, you know, there's a level there at 1753. But it really looks weak. I don't know how much more to the downside it's going to get. The volume is drying up on it as well, so that's going to make it a little bit tougher to trade. I keep getting alerts on my GME, but it just won't go. It won't hit 15. It keeps going within like a couple of cents, but it won't hit 15. I'm getting sick of these getting alerts and then it doesn't do anything. The 50 DMA, what is that, SMA? I got it at 4160. But what really concerns me is the 20 right here. This is the 20 EMA on the daily. That's why I'm waiting. I should have marked this so you guys can see it. This is what I'm waiting to crack. You know, if we crack below this, we will crack the 20. But yeah, the 50 is sitting right here. I've got it at 4160. But this first thing is my main concern. So, you know, it's not really setting up. So we're still kind of looking at this buy here. If we get a rejection, you know, that's a good entry for TVIX. But only, you know, we gotta let, it's got to roll back over. You gotta be patient, can't chase it. And that's the main thing here. So far today, we got a bunt for a base hit. And then I got thrown out trying to steal second. So, you know, pretty bad. You know, playing Moneyball today just isn't working. There's my TIF. But I am not trying to deal with that short sale restriction crap anymore. I'm not trying to scalp. It's just not what I'm doing. I am just not gonna scalp. But you know what? Once I get slapped, hey, when you know, no means no. So she said no, and I ain't going back. We're gonna move on. So DKS, this one was really hard to trade. You know, again, the scalp move here. Not anything worthwhile. So, you know, this is usually the time. This is the time I go to lunch and try to come back like around 12:45 or so to watch what happens coming out of the lunch. I'm kind of glancing at charts, looking to see what happens during the lunch hour. But obviously, you know, the market is still marching back up. So there's no play there. I'm in Eastern time zone. I'm in the market time zone. So it's 11 o'clock here for me. But you guys remember, I'm doing a education webinar today at 4:30 here in chat on the mentoring process, because a lot of you guys, before you take advantage of it, I want you to really understand what it's about. And, you know, the things you're going to need to do to make sure we don't waste any of your time when we meet. You know, it's really important that you guys don't waste any of the time that you have. You know, I know my time, for me, my time is very valuable. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Especially when you're investing your hard-earned dollars in your time. So I want to make sure you get return on your investment. You know, ROI is what it's all about. So we'll be doing that back here at 4:30. And yeah, it will be recorded and on the members video page on the website. So if you're not here and you miss it, it will be here. All right, guys. So you guys that joined us on YouTube, thanks for hanging out with me today. We're going to do this again next week. So you can get an idea. A lot of people want to know what it's like in our chat room every day. And this is what it's like. This is what we do. And yeah, it gets slow in the afternoon, especially when the markets are like this. And very, very little opportunity in the afternoon. So today may be one of those days where we're just waiting for the Fed guy to talk, and maybe people will come in. We just have to wait and see. But, it's all about learning. It's all about getting that valuable screen time, figuring out what's going on so we can start learning how to predict what the market is probably going to do so that we can position ourselves in the right place. And you guys saw trading today with the market being the way it is, how you have to trade. You got to take profit. And there's always the risk of slippage, especially when you're using a hard stop. And I use a hard stop to protect me in cases like this, because this thing could have just kept going and not even look back. It just could have kept going, and I could be down a couple $100, trying to get out of this thing. So, I'll accept the slippage if it protects me. It kept me from potentially going red. So, it's part of what I have to accept, doing what I'm doing and trading how I have to trade in this account. So, hopefully you guys got this, understood that. You got to see exactly, how I handle situations like that. And this is just one. We run into different things every day. Every day is different. So, that's what this is all about. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, and we'll catch you next week.